Hello guys, Wahoo here, back another video, this time around with even more patch notes from the PTS server. And yes, I look a little bit different. I did get cut really down because I was getting sick of having that big beard. But that's not what the video is about today. It is about the even more Delve patch notes. And I'm gonna link all of them in the description. Also, all the old ones that was in there, so those are much longer. I won't cover them here. I've made videos on the channel, so go check them out where I go over them. But I want to link all the old patch notes and all the new ones we got here in the description, so go check them out if you want to. Some of them are long, some of them are quite small, like these ones, for example, on this page, for example. But I do have 7 pages for you today of patch notes, or it's not 7 patch notes because there, as you can see, there is a part 1 and a part 2 of the different patch notes. Some of them, like I said, it's only like 3, and some of them are a little bit longer and stuff like that. But I've highlighted some of the big ones. I won't go over every single one of them because they are small, minor changes that, if you're really interested, you should go check them out in the description, or just pause the video and read them if you want to do that. But they all link down there. All this, again, I think we're up to, I would say, above like 15 patch notes or something like that. Again, small ones, but some of them are pretty significant, as the first one is right here. So let's jump into the very first one. And this was on the 1st of April. It's not an April Fool's joke. It's legit, right? And it's also quite a long time since it was the 1st of April. So this is not an April Fool's joke video either, but they did fix some issues with some damage during Delve. But the big thing is that Mastery after 500 now gives 1 Magic Find and 1 Power Rank per level. So when you get to 500, I don't know if it's going to be exactly 500, but like, let's say 501, then you get 1 Magic Find and 1 Power Rank. And they're doing this because they did the whole what is it called, nerf to all the magic, or sorry, all the mastery points that was. And now they're kind of reworking that because of people's feedback and whatnot. So yeah, there's a few more of these, and if you look all the other patch notes, there is a few more improvements to mastery. And I think we're gonna end up at a fair place. It seems like their devs are not going to nerf mastery completely in the ground, but they're gonna make it more balanced at least, or maybe they're gonna overbuff it at the end. I don't really know, but we're gonna have to see what ends up being the case. But the point is, a lot of amazing things that they are looking forward. The last one I did all about the weekly classes being, you had to work towards your rewards from it, and that's awesome. And we also got one of those today, not in the same sense, but something you should check out the video for at least. But also some rewards, and there's also something when you lose your magic find. Down here, there's something about, weird fish eyes can now be fished in the shadow lobby. And also the last one down here, increase the drop rate of gear from enemies in the Delve path. So not in like the end, but when you are trying to get there, there is going to drop some loot. This just says gear, so it's not specifically crystal gear. It's going to be all sorts of rarity to it. Maybe it's going to be, when you get up to the higher ones, you are more chance of getting, or I guess to the lower ones, I guess we're going down, right? The lower ones, or the higher tiers, are going to have a bigger chance of stellars and stuff like that. Like usually stuff like this is when you are getting big rewards for going third, basically. So the next patch notes are these. Something about the Delve private matchmakers are now cute like other classes, and not stuff like that. Players are now offered a chance to teleport to the Delve there once the objective is completed, rather than what it was before. And now this one is the big one on this page, I guess you can call it. The Binding of Darkness now drops in the Delves has been increased. A slight chance of dropping from creatures in the Delves has also been added. So they can also drop from the creatures. I would say any creature. I would suggest that is the way towards the boss. That if you defeat the things there's a chance of there's going to be some Binding Darkness dropping from that, as we are used to in the Shadow Towers with the mini bosses and stuff like that. Also, Shadow Caches can now drop from the Shadowy Soul Vault. And I think the Shadowy Soul Vault, I'm not sure if that they mean when the boss is basically defeated and you use your Delve key to open up the chest. I think that's where they mean the shadowy soul vault is where it's at. There's all a few other changes right here. There's going to be a reset button that's added to the Shadow Tower boss's room. That means ST. Allows players to fight the boss again. So basically, you don't have to run it again. So there is if you don't know, there's a batch for doing 300 normal runs of Hydra. There's 300 runs of Hydra on hard mode, and then there's 300 runs of Hydra on ultra mode, and then of course the equivalent is also for Dreadnought. So those two, there is 300 of that, and there's some mastery in it. Before you had to run it from the beginning, but now they're adding a reset button because people are not going to go in there for the loot. They're going to go there for doing these batches now, right? So instead of have to run all the way from the start as we used to, you can actually just reset the boss and just do all 300 in like one, I wouldn't say one sitting because it's still going to take you some time, but you can actually just go there, invite 8 people, do all 300, and that's it. I might actually do that in that sense because it took a long time to reset and then go back, but you can just have 8 people running basically the whatever you have. So that's a really nice change. I don't think it says it won't provide rewards, so I don't think you're gonna get you're gonna get loot out of it for doing just resetting it there. It's mostly for doing the patch. So that's the patch from the 2nd of April. This is the patch from the 6th of April, and this is where we are getting into some juicy stuff because Chaos Factor rewards is now tried to complete dungeons per day. Each dungeon completing grants 1 chaos stand up to amount of chaos factors. So, patrons will get 2 chaos chests for each dungeon complete. So that doesn't mean that if you do 20 dungeons a day, that you're gonna get 20 chaos chests. You might get, if you're really lucky, random chaos chest does drop randomly from any dungeon, as it always has been. Not a higher chance of them on U9 or something like that, but there's a chance of a cast chest dropping from a dungeon. That is not changed, but now you're not going to log in and get your X amount of cast chest just by logging in. You actually have to go out and complete a dungeon, but it's not like random like the luxurious boxes that we have on Wednesdays where it's X amount of dungeons or X amount of time before you are going to get one of these luxury boxes. It's when you do one dungeon. So if you have a cast factor of 1, which most people have, you are just going to outdo one dungeon and you get your cast chest reward from that. You're guaranteed to get that 1. I personally have a cast factor of 3 because I've been playing such a long time and I've been lucky in winning some contests and stuff like that. But that's also over, 4 years that I've been playing this game. I've got up to 3 cast factors, so I have to complete 3 dungeons to getting up my get my chaos chest for that day. So that's what I think is absolutely amazing change, as well as the change to the classes. Now you just don't log in, you actually have to go out and do something. And I also like it that it's not like random, but you're guaranteed to get it on the first dungeon or second dungeon or third dungeon, no matter, or depending on how much chaos factor you have or how many chaos chests you get by just logging in as it is right now. That is, again, a step in the right way where you actually have to do something with these rewards instead of just saying, oh, well, I'm just going to log on and I'm just going to, get my chaos chest and then I'm going to get out of here. Some days it might be that, right? You don't have time to do so. That's, of course, if you don't have time. But if you only have 1 chaos factor, doing 1 dungeon is going to be very easy, and you should be able to do that at least for doing the day. If you have time to log in, I think you have time to do like 1 dungeon, because it doesn't say which it has to be in a specific difficulty or something like that. So just run out, do maybe the easiest dungeon you can find if that's the thing, and you might be able to do so. But also, Mastery now grants 1 chaos factor at rank 500, and then every 50 levels above that. So if you are rank 500, you are going to get 1 extra. So usually it's after Mastery 100 you get a chaos factor. That's when you start getting that 1 chaos chest every single day. But I hope it's still gonna stay at 100, and then at 500 you're gonna get an extra, and then after 500 after these, because there's also an incentive again to get over 500 power rank, basically. Not power rank, sorry, mastery. That's what I mean. So, but at least the chaos factor reward thing is amazing. I think that's great that we don't just get something for free. We do have to work a little bit for it before we can just pile on. And then you can set your own goals, especially with the leaderboard rewards you got for doing the class thing. You set your own goals. Do you want to be number one? You got to do a lot that week, right? If you just want to, get a little bit done, and then you're still gonna get a little bit of rewards, like you basically do now, you can do that. You're basically setting your own goals in the game. Which is really nice, and not just say, oh, hey, I'm just gonna log on and everything is cool, basically. So the next thing is that I think resetting the shadow towers now counts towards the batch process, progress. That's what I was talking about in the previous patch notes. And this is just some added some difficulties for the bosses, and also some biomes and stuff like that. So that's enough with the patch note from that. Now we got the patch notes from the 9th of April, which is that Crystal 2 and Crystal 3 gear now drops more frequently. And of course, it drops very not frequent really right now. So they are going to increase that because we are going to get Crystal 4 gear from the delves. So that's just very, very important. Also, that the Crystal 3 now has now returned between 10 and 280 85 crystal cores depending on the number of stars. So if you have actually constructed your gear, your Crystal 3 gear, everybody has Crystal 3 has put 5 stars on it, and you're basically lost out on 280 plus crystal cores when you switch over to Crystal 4. But those you are going to get back. So what you have invested into the Crystal 3, not the some of the materials, but at least the crystal cores, which is time gated, or you don't get them, or you can't just farm them. Well, I guess you can if you're running 5 stars all the time, but you're really kind of not super time gated, but there is some restrictions to the crystalline cores. So but now you're gonna get them all back as this patch gets out, and you also get your Crystal 4 gear. You want to forge that up, and also that's what this says down here, that it now can now be upgraded at the forge, which it couldn't do before. And then of course they recolored some patches in some of the biomes, and now we are onto the 10th of April. The patch notes there. I haven't highlighted anything here, as you can see, because these are minor things that I really don't think is really crazy. There is the new delve cache, which you can trade in for your geode currency that you get in the delves, and you can then open them and find exciting new delve related goodies. And I've opened some on the PTS server because there's a new banners I want to talk about as well. I'm also going to show the picture of the banners, but for this you can actually get some of these rewards that are in the delves, and it seems pretty common to get some of these banners. I tried to open 30 or something like that. You get quite a lot of these, and it's just to basically, when you have bought everything with your geode currency and you have nothing left to do, it's basically a never-ending thing that you can then use the mons until they introduce probably some more at some point, and then you can save up to do some of that. But it's basically a never-ending to get some of that out. And also so that's basically it for these patch notes here. But the caches are, I think they were 10 or something like that with geode currency, or something like that, 20 maybe, but yeah, not too bad. Now we are getting into the 3rd of April patch notes, and the first one is that they feel like players expect Trove combat to be fast, so they themselves should be fast. Currently, we reduce the amount of time given to complete path between bosses. Over time, this should result in the system preferring combinations that are faster to complete. So basically they're giving us less time, but the system is smart enough to say, okay, these people have less time to do them in, and then they will make them basically easier for people. Or so you don't have to be there in too long. It's still gonna be complicated, it's still gonna be very hard, but it's just gonna be hard less time if that makes any sense. And now they also says that Crystal 4 gear also now can spawn with higher critical hit damage, not critical hit. It's the same. It's not that, but the damage is going to be higher, and the attack speed on it is also going to be higher. So it was probably like a little bit on the lower side, and also the same with the attack speed compared to Crystal 3, basically. And then there's some adjustments to some of the modules, and basically down here, if you can see the rest of it, there was added some tracking recipes, basic tracking recipes, or the tracking potions, as they are called. Those are basically so you can see monsters on, like, it's basically night vision, or you can say like X-ray vision through the walls and stuff like that. And they're pretty common potions, and they're not too much. But also now they added 27 new decorative banner recipes, so that they can spawn after the boss, which you can craft the delve recipes in the hub. So basically you can craft some to make your banner look different, and also there's some banners that you can craft in the basically in the I don't know if it's on this side. Okay, so I don't see them anywhere. Okay, so the chest also drops from caches and the plus stealth, but there is banners. I'm gonna show a picture right here, which is going to show you what these banners are, and also what they kind of, I don't know if you can see the cost of them, but basically you find part of the banner and part of another banner, and you put them together, and it doesn't say how much it give you, and I haven't done delve on the PTS server, so I don't have any currency to show you guys what it is, but I wanted to show you guys a picture that I don't know what the specific numbers are, because I'm running with the one that gave you 870, or the torch, basically 875 light right now, which I thought was going to be the one you're going to start using in the delve. But since you can craft these banners, I don't know if they you know, are going to be better what the torch is at the moment, but we have to see when it gets out. Again, I couldn't equip one, so I couldn't show you what the numbers are, but I will 100% make a guide on it when this, you know, delve comes out, and if these banners are something of significance to what we, if it's something that makes your delving better, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. But I'm not gonna try to make this, you know, what's it called? I'll say, oh yeah, of course. I maybe should just say this is the last one, but there is not really anything in it, so I'm basically skipping this of the 14th of April patch notes. But again, they're all, you know, linked in the description if you want to read them. But I don't want to make this video any longer. I'm already like over 18 minutes, so I think that's enough. And if I went over through every single point, I would have been over like, I don't know, 40 minutes or something like that. So we're gonna try to keep it a little bit short, on the shorter side. But again, everything is linked in the description, so you know, you guys can all read it there if you want to do so in your own time. But I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, make sure you like and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.